Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido, and today it is the Kitakami Rogues going up against the Levincia Wonders, and the Rogues are still yet to win a series. They have gotten a few wins here and there within those series, but they are yet to go at least 2-1 against any side, whereas the Levincia Wonders, coming off their bye and coming off a clean sweep, are looking to repeat that again and keep themselves in the top 5. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this matchup. Will it be the Darkness decks? Will it be the Lightning decks? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
And having flipped heads, it will be that Power Plant deck for the Levincia Wonders going first, as they've got 4 basic Pokemon in hand, and they are looking, or they were thinking of going with the Voltorb, but instead they go with the Zapdos in that active spot as they decide to put the Magnemite and the Voltorb on the bench. It is the Toxic Energy deck from the Kitakami Rogues, opting to put that Grimer in the active spot with the Purloin on the bench, and they do have that Professor's Research and Pokeball to help thin that deck nice and quickly. But here we are, that first turn for the Levincia Wonders, who went 3-0 in round 2. They want to try and repeat that again and move themselves up the leaderboard. As they pull the Magneton, there's not much else they can do, so they turn it over to the Rogues, who are able to pull the Venipede. The Rogues are also going to play that Pokeball and pull the second Venipede, and undoubtedly they're going to play that Professor's Research as well. And with that, they pull the Potion and the X-Speed, so they have a lot of options as they are going to play one of those Venipedes. They've got the Whirlipede in hand as well, and they put that first energy onto the Grimer. It's going to go for that 10 damaging Poison Gas, but it also leaves Zapdos with that crucial poisoning that is going to chip away at its health and try and help get them that early advantage, as Zapdos requires 3 energies to be going on the offensive as that second Magneton is pulled, and Magnemite is immediately evolved into the Magneton. It gets its first energy, and with the Volt Charge, it is also going to get that second energy generated onto it, and it only needs 2 more as that poisoning continues to afflict Zapdos here. It is the Liepard being pulled for the Kitakami Rogues, immediately evolving that Purloin on the bench, as well as that Venipede being evolved into the Whirlipede, opting to go with that energy onto the Whirlipede, also only requiring 1 energy to go on the offensive as well, but that Poison Gas continuing to chip away at Zapdos. The Rogues bit by bit here, but the Wonders are looking to set up that Magneton by the looks of things as they pull the Lieutenant Surge supporter card as well. They've got that Potion to try and delay that poisoning on Zapdos as they're going to put that first energy on the Voltorb as well. The Volt Charge continuing to help generate energy for Magneton in the process. It only requires 1 more as another 10 damage onto Zapdos here. The second Liepard being pulled for the Kitakami Rogues as they can start to choose where they want to place these energies. Liepard only requires 1 energy to be doing damage as well, so they have good options. Do the Rogues, they're opting to see what they can do. They do get that first energy onto Liepard. No points taken in this game 1 yet, as another Poison Gas onto Zapdos. It's got 30 remaining, but with that poisoning, it only has 20 health remaining. And the Wonders are able to pull their own Professor's Research, which they do play immediately here, and they are going to get the Pokeball and the Potion. They've got 2 potions here that can help out Zapdos as they play the Pokeball as well, getting that second Voltorb into hand, and they really need to start deciding what they're going to do. There's the first potion to restore the health of Zapdos. They've got that second one, you have to think, and here they are finally using it, restoring a total of 40 health for Zapdos on this turn, delaying the effects of that poisoning. Another Volt Charge for Magneton as well, and they put that energy finally onto Zapdos, immediately opting to retreat it. Magneton is in the active spot. It can start going on the offensive, but it only does 60 damage to Grimer, so Grimer will still have 10 health remaining, which means it will be able to poison Magneton here as the Rogues do pull the Koga. They still don't have a Muck in hand, as every Pokemon is able to go on the offensive, only requiring 1 energy. They finally get a second energy onto Grimer, but there's not much it can do. They're going to go with the Potion to restore a bit of health in the process here. And there's the X-Speed for the Grimer as well, so they're clearly wanting to not drop any points this early in the game, opting to send out the Whirlipede in its place, who will also be able to get off that poisoning onto Magneton, but it also does 20 damage instead of 10, so that's a total of 30 damage, as it will be going back over to the Levincia Wonders. They've got that damage now onto Magneton as they pull the second Magnemite. They've already got their second Magneton in hand, so they immediately play down the Magnemite here, as they put that first energy onto it as well. They need to decide what to do though with this active Magneton. With that poisoning, they do generate another energy. It's got 5 lightning energies on it now, as it is going to do 60 damage to the Whirlipede, leaving it with 30 health, but Magneton only has 10 health of its own, the second Whirlipede being pulled for the Kitakami Rogue, so they opt to play down that Venipede as well and get an energy back onto the Grimer. But the Poison Sting here onto Magneton, taking 20 health. It is going to have 10 remaining after the effects of this poisoning as well. This is still anybody's game. No one's taken a point yet, as Electrode's been pulled for the Levincia Wonders as well. It can do 70 damage. It just needs one more energy placed onto it. It's already got one there. And that second Magneton is online on the bench as well. Electrode is ready to go. There's that Volt Charge that could be used for the Magneton, but they're going to retreat it. They're putting Electrode into that active spot. There's the Volt Charge on the full strength Magneton. They can still use the Volt Charge on the damaged Magneton as well, which they automatically do. And Electrode will be able to take out Whirlipede here. They opt to not worry about Lieutenant Surge, and there it is. Whirlipede has been taken off the board. The Levincia Wonders take the first point in this very methodical first game between these two sides. And the Rogues needing to think about what they want to do. They opt to play down that second Venipede, and they've pulled the Scolipede as well. They will be able to evolve Venipede into Whirlipede. It needs to outlast the Electrode, which it can do. It has 90 health. That could be crucial here. They're going with the Poison Sting. It will do that 20 damage once again, leaving the Lightning type Electrode with that poisoning to do 10 damage as well. The Wonders pulling a Pokeball, and they immediately play that down. They've got the Voltorb and Electabuzz already in hand, so there's no more basic Pokemon to be pulled as they start setting up the Zapdos. And here are these Volt Charges once again being put into play just to help generate that extra energy for the Magnetons in case they're needed potentially for retreats, as the Electro Ball 70 damage. But they're thinking, the Wonders, they've hesitated on the attack, they're still deciding what to do. They are opting to go finally with the Electro Ball onto Whirlipede, leaving it with 20 health remaining. There's only 40 health remaining on Electrode thanks to that poison. The second Koga being pulled for the Kitakami Rogues, and there it is. The Scolipede is online. It is going to get that second energy. This Venoshock will do 120 damage thanks to Electrode already being poisoned. It is wiped off the board, and the Rogues finally get their first point of their own to level this game 1, as the Wonders need to decide how they're going to play this. They opt to put that full strength Magneton on to that active spot. They pull the Leaf as well. They get another energy onto the Zapdos, and here's the Volt Charge from Magneton that will allow it to get that 60 damage onto Scolipede. It will have 10 health remaining though, so it won't be taken off the board. And it can retaliate, but it also will only be doing 70 damage to the Magneton, so it won't be able to get enough of to take it out of this match. The Rogues really need to think about what they can do. That Scolipede can do a lot of damage when a Pokemon is poisoned, but there it is, Magneton, 10 health remaining. There is the Professor's Research once again for the Levincia Wonders. They play that immediately, thinning this deck. They get the second Leaf, they get the second Electrode as well, so they immediately put out that Voltorb on to the bench and give it its first energy as well. If they leave Magneton here, they're practically sacrificing it in this match. They're generating more lightning energies for these Magnetons as well. And there it is, taking that Scolipede out. Once again, the Levincia Wonders back in front, taking their second point here in Game 1 in this best of 3 series. But always remember that Game 3 counts towards the leaderboard, as it is the Lipard being put into the active spot. There's the Muck finally being pulled for the Kitakami Rogues as well, who can also do more damage if a Pokemon is poisoned. But at this point, the Rogues cannot give up another point to the Wonders as they think about what they're going to do. They are going to evolve that Grimer that's on the bench into the Muck and start getting that third energy onto it just to make sure it can go on the offensive. 40 damage though from the Lipard is going to take out Magneton, but the Wonders, they have that Zapdos. Now Zapdos does do 30 damage to one of the benched teammates, but as we can see, and they're looking at it now just to make sure they are safe. As it says, it will do 100 damage, but it does 30 damage to one of their benched Pokemon. It's not going to surely want to do it to the Magneton, but if they do it to Voltorb, even though they're doing 30 damage to their own teammate, they will get that third point and they're going to evolve Voltorb into the Electrode as well, just to be extra cautious clearly. But the Wonders with this Raging Thunder are about to get their third point in this game. They are going to do 30 to the Electrode, but they take the Liepard out and they take game 1 as they were able to hang on here to keep that victory. Going into game 2, it is the heads being flipped for the Kitakami Rogues, so they will be going first, and they're using that Poison Pins deck, and it will be going up against that Static Web deck. There are the Nidorans in hand, both 2 males and 1 female. One of the males being put into the active spot, the 2 Tynamos being put down for the Levincia Wonders as we go into our first turn. For the Kitakami Rogues, they've got the Professor's Research as well, plus the Golbat, and they get their second Professor's Research. Only one of these can be played per turn, so they do opt to play one, getting the Pokeball and the Nidorina as well. They'll play the Pokeball immediately as well, and they are going to get the Zubat, which is perfect for that Golbat that is in hand, so they are going to put that Zubat straight down onto the bench. They've got a full bench set up now, as it's the Pincurchin being pulled for the Levincia Wonders, and they immediately opt to play that down as well. They've got the Sabrina, the Potion, and the X-Speed in hand. Tynamo can only take 30 damage, but it can dish out 30 damage off this 1 Lightning Energy as well, so it is about to go on the offensive. And already Nidoran has lost half of its health, but it's the Nidoking being pulled. They need the Nidorino. It's the Nidorina being put down onto the Nidoran female. The Golbat's online as well now. And there's that first energy being put down onto the Nidoran male. They're not playing the Professor's Research. That's a very interesting choice there. Unless I've completely blanked and they already played one. But with so much going on in these matches, it is now the Potion being played by the Levincia Wonders to restore that health of the Tynamo, offsetting what the Nidoran male did, so it can at least outlast another turn, as Pincurchin looks like it's going to be chosen for its first energy. It requires 2 to start doing damage, however, and there's the Sabrina as well. They're trying to throw off the Kitakami Rogues, are the Wonders, as the Rogues need to pick a Pokemon to put into that active spot, and surely they're going to want to go with the Golbat. No, instead they go with the Nidorina, who can also do 30 damage to the Tynamo, but it is on the receiving end of 30 damage itself. The Tynamo getting in that chip damage, the second Nidoking being pulled for the Kitakami Rogues, and here it is, that Professor's Research that is going to allow them to draw 2 cards. They get the second Zubat, they get the Nidorino as well. That could be crucial, because now they can start setting up for that Nidoking. 1 energy though is all that's required for the Nidorina. 30 damage with this bite is going to take the Tynamo off that table, and that is the first point for the Kitakami Rogues. They're still looking for their first series win of Season A1 here in the PokeType League TCG, but it is Pincurchin being put into the active spot. The second Sabrina pulled for the Levincia Wonders. Pincurchin immediately gets that second energy as well. Going with the Thunder Shocker will do 30 damage to the Nidorina, but it can also leave it with that paralysis. They need to flip the heads, and they get the tails. Unfortunately, that is not good for the Wonders. They would have been able to benefit greatly and try and take out this Nidorina, as it is the second Golbat being pulled for the Kitakami Rogues. But there it is, the Nidoking is online, getting its first energy of this match. There's the bite from Nidorina onto the Pincurchin here. The Pincurchin though can finish off this Nidorina, as there's that Potion being pulled for the Wonders. Potentially though, if that Nidoking's in the active spot and the Wonders can get enough paralysis onto that, they could shut it out of this game. But here's the Thunder Shock. It will take Nidorina out of this contest, so the Wonders get their first point in game 2 as well. And although they get the tails, that is irrelevant because they got the elimination, which is more important in these matchups. As now, it is the Rogues having to choose who they put out into play, and they're going to go with the Golbat, clearly opting to want to be able to set up that Nidoking. You have to imagine the second Nidoran female being pulled, but they put down the Zubat onto that empty bench slot, and Golbat gets its first energy, going for that wing attack, 40 damage. Pincurchin has 20 health remaining, as the Dedenne is pulled for the Levincia Wonders as well, also with the ability to leave the opponents paralyzed in place, and it does get its first energy here, as the Wonders play the X-Speed as well. They do not want to give up that point that Pincurchin could easily be taken away. They are going to put that Dedenne into the active spot now, and they're going to go with that Thundershock. It only does 10 damage, but it is that paralysis. That's the crucial part, and they get the tails. Unfortunately, this is great for the rogues. They can continue on the offensive, chipping away at the Levincia Wonders with the Golbat in place and continuing to set up that Nidoking. It's the Nido Queen being pulled for the rogues, but they have a full side setup. There's the second energy here onto the Nidoking. It requires one more to start doing 90 damage. There's 40 damage though onto the Dedenne, which is going to be able to be taken out in the next turn if it can not get off this paralysis onto Golbat, as the Wonders need to decide what they're going to do. Putting down a second energy onto the bench Dynamo, and here it is, the Thundershock onto Golbat, 10 damage. It's the coin flip though that it is all important. And again, they get another Tails. There is no paralysis. Golbat is going to take Dedenne off the board. And there it is, the third energy onto the Nidoking. It is set up, it is ready to go. The wing attack will take the Dedenne out, and the Kitakami Rogues have gotten their second point, and they look ready to take their third and take game 2, as it looks like we will be going into game 3 to decide our winner. There's Dynamo being put onto the board, or onto the active spot, sorry, as the Wonders really need to think about how they want to approach this. And they're clearly thinking, do they just want to go on the offensive and give up the game, or do they want to put Pincurchin into the active spot? They're going to retreat the Dynamo. They're going to try and go with the paralysis, 30 damage onto the Golbat. Coin flip time, and another Tails. That is terrible. The Wonders are about to lose game 2. You have to think the Rogues are going to want to put Nidoking onto that active spot to maximize their damage, because this will count towards the leaderboard, and that could determine whether or not a team makes it into victory road. But there it is, the 90 damage, taking Pincurchin out. There's the third point for the Rogues. They win game 2, and they're trying to win their first series. And this time it's the heads being flipped for the Levincia Wonders, so they'll be going first with their Surging Sparks deck, going up against the Rockets Pursuit deck. It is the Pikachu being put into the active spot. It is the Meowth for the Kitakami Rogues. We have a Meowth and a Pikachu. The Rockets pursuing the Pikachu. How fitting that these two sides are going against each other. It is the Helioptile being pulled for the Levincia Wonders, and I cannot believe that is easier to say sometimes than when I have to say execute, as they send it over to the Kitakami Rogues, who pull the Persian as well. And there it is, the Pokeball being played, trying to thin out that deck. They get the Ekans. They've already got the Arbok in hand. This is a good start for the Kitakami Rogues, but there is that Raichu already in hand for the Levincia Wonders. It is the Genetic Apex Raichu, as well as the Payday onto the Pikachu, trying to make that money and get those coins, get those cards, sorry, for the Rogues, as they do pull the Giovanni. It is an X-Speed being pulled for the Levincia Wonders, as they can determine how they want to approach this chance to go on the offensive. They're going to play the X-Speed, so they want that Helioptile in the active spot. That Circle Circuit only does as much damage based on the benched Pokemon, so they can put that first energy onto Helioptile, and it will be doing 20 damage to the Meowth. And this will keep the Pikachu in the back, try and keep it safe so they can set up the Raichu, but also if they get the Heliolisk, they will be able to try and get off 80 damage, as the Rogues can easily evolve the Ekans, easily evolve the Meowth, as we see taking place, and it requires 2 energy for this Persian to start going on the offensive. And if they flip aheads as well, a random card from the hand of the Wonders will be discarded. They go for the Shadow Claw. There's 40 damage onto Helioptile. Coin flip time, and it's a Tails, so the Wonders are safe. That Raichu in hand is safe, as it does come back over to the Lightning types, and they pull the Zeb Striker. They need that Blitzel, which they are yet to pull, as they can start setting up Pikachu, and they evolve it into the Raichu as well. So there's that first energy put down onto the Raichu. Another Tail from Heliolisk. It is going to do 20 damage to the Persian, but Persian is about to wipe Helioptile off the table, as the Coffin being pulled for the Kitakami Rogues now. And there's the first energy onto the Arbok. The Shadow Claw is getting that first point for the Kitakami Rogues in game 3. They take the lead, they go for the coin flip, and this time they also get the heads, but that Raichu is down on the bench. It's the X-Speed being taken away for the Levincia Wonders. Again, that first point, early lead for the Kitakami Rogues. Here is Raichu online and has 90 health remaining. And there's the Heliolisk as well. Bad timing for the Wonders here in Game 3. Now Raichu requires a third energy. That was just the second one being placed down. This will allow the Rogues to try and take advantage. They've got the two Giovannis in hand as well, trying to maximize their damage as they can go on the offensive, setting up that second Ekans with its first energy. Here's the Giovanni down for the Persian. It will be doing 50 damage. Raichu has 40 health remaining. And there's the coin flip as well. Tails for the Rogues. So the Wonders' hand is safe at the moment, but it does not look good for them in this match. They have no other basic Pokemon. They pull the Mythical Island Raichu. They're about to get that third energy onto Raichu. They're going to use the Giovanni. They know this is not about to go well. They're going to get 150 damage onto the Persian, getting their own first point, but they have no benched Pokemon. This is fantastic for the Kitakami Rogues. They are about to take their first win of the season. They put the Arbok into that active spot. It requires one more energy. They've got the Giovanni in hand as well, just to maximize that damage, and they are about to take their first win of the season by taking down the Electric Mouse as the corner. 70 damage, and the Kitakami Rogues, as we said, their first win of the season, taking down the Levincia Wonders. Not that it was a bad showing by the Wonders, but unfortunately they will drop down the leaderboard. But with that said, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought the best card was. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe. But more importantly, always remember, send thanks, and I'll see you when you see me.